We've heard yesterday from a couple of Premiership managers on the current situation with the COVID, sort of differing views. Like David Martindale said that he feels Scottish football should go into a circuit break for the next 2 weeks. Robbie Neilson was saying that football owes it to the fans to keep going through this period and just stay safe. What are your views on it?
My views are that there's people in positions to make those decisions. They have to take all the evidence and then make decisions that they see fit for everybody, players, supporters, staff. Not just one particular group of people or the business or sport. I think it has to take into all the stakeholders and participants and make the right decision. That's how I see it. I think as managers, we've got enough on our plate making our own decisions without commenting on decisions we have no input on and no responsibility for.
Is that a concern for you when you look down south and there's so many games that are being postponed over the weekend? I think almost half the Premier League games are gone. It's not quite hit up here at this rate yet. Is that a concern for you that this could come up here?
Well, of course, yeah. We're only 100 miles up the road or something. So, if it's travelling around the world, it's certainly going to cross borders. And but different countries have different stipulations and rules and regs and so forth. There's different populations, in areas and spaces. So there's so many different aspects and things that can affect outbreaks. I'm surprised that people are surprised a little bit, to be honest, because it's been nearly 2 years now that and pretty much all the evidence has been saying that it wasn't just going to go away. I think we probably the frustration from everybody is that we sort of got a semblance of normal life back, and then it looks like it might be going back to how it was maybe a year ago or so. But we have to make do and do what's best for it, as we did 18 months ago, 12 months ago, and 6 months ago. I think we have to be fluid in our actions, in how we deal with things, and still have the safety of people's health at the forefront of any decisions we make.
Have you had to change your restrictions within the club at all over the past couple of weeks, or was everything sort of strict enough anyway that you felt it's been all right?
Yeah, I mean we have tried to be consistent with how we've done it all the way through. We've never just gone back to the norm. We have tightened up on it in the last 3 or 4 weeks, not through any orders from anybody, but just out of common sense, really, that we, the information and the news is telling you that there's this other variant coming and it's a bit different. So we started making sure we doubled down on a couple of things to be as safe as we can without going overboard. And we always try to have a balanced view and make balanced decisions on all the evidence. And the evidence was saying that something was around the corner. So but like I say, it's all well and good people putting protocols and regulations down. It's about each individual taking their responsibility seriously to do the right things.
Is that something you speak to your players, or there's people at the club that speak to the players about that, what they do individually? Do they have restrictions on what they maybe shouldn't be doing on the outside world, or is that just left up to them to make their own decisions?
No, we're dealing with grown men here, so it's outside of the sport and our control. We hope and expect them to make the right decisions, like we say, and take that responsibility seriously. But there is a life to be led as well, and but inside we speak to the players, we speak to the experienced guys about why we're doing certain things and why we feel we have to change things, and they're sensible lads, and they understand that they're not blind or deaf to what's going on in the world. But like I say, it's constantly being monitored and adjusted for the safety of everybody, and hopefully we can continue to play football. But if we don't, then it's not the end of the world. There's worse things that go on, as we all know.
It's coming up to a very busy period now. How do you approach a period like this when you know you're going to have so many games over a set period?
Well, I'll be honest, I've been used to playing in England for 30 years, and this is pretty much what it's like for 10 months of the season. So, and a lot of my players have played down there as well. So, for me, I think nothing really changes apart from the period in between games, but we still have to recover from games, prepare for the next one. So it's probably the middle of the week that we haven't got that extra day to maybe influence training and stuff. You're basically going from game to game. But apart from that, I think everything's the same. I think players are fit. They're motivated. For me, there's no problem playing 2-3 games in a week. I don't think it should be beyond the capabilities of professional athletes to do that. So we'll be prepared for every game.
What's the positives to take from Celtic Park last week? You just want to keep that momentum going, keep that same approach?
Well, we got beat, so that wasn't a positive. Let's remember that. I'm all for living a positive life and positive messages, but we're here to win. Our team goes into every game to try and win. So there's a little bit of a sting there from that, because we felt that we competed well enough in the game to get something from it, which we didn't. But like you say, there's always good things you can take from a game, and we need to keep those. But there's a couple of things that we felt we could improve as well, and that's what we have to try and do before tomorrow's game and during tomorrow's game, because let's make no mistake, tomorrow's game will be just as tough as last week. I'll tell you that now. If anyone thinks any differently, then they're living in a different world, because tomorrow's game will be just as important and just as tough as last week.
Any more defensive options for you this week?
No, not at the minute. No, I'm just trying to think of all the ones that are missing. So unfortunately, no. That's where we are. But I felt the back four played well last week. Really pressed the game really well against a good team. So I know Jake came into the team and played in a slightly different position for him, what he's used to, but I thought he played it very well, and we actually expected him to play like that because of how he's trained. We've got a couple of players competing for those roles as well. So we'll hopefully make the right decisions.
Right, maybe did Jake go out the team because of a suspension, and he's just had to be patient?
Yeah, he was in the team at the start of the season, and he got sent off. I can't remember which game it was, and missed the next game. Nathan came in and played well, so it was unfortunate for Jake, but to be fair to him, he's trained exceptionally well and kept himself ready for his opportunity. So that's an example for the rest of our players, for anyone who's not in the team at any particular moment, to keep your training standards up as high as you can, because you'll be called upon. You're putting pressure on me, on your teammate who's got your shirt, and they have to keep their standards high. So I think that's the healthy competition that we look to create in a squad, and Jake's the epitome of that, to be honest.
I'm looking at tomorrow's game. Are you surprised by where St Johnstone are in the table?
Yes, but because of obviously what they did last season was exceptional in the two cup competitions, and obviously finishing in the top six. So, but also know what an extremely competitive league this is, and the actual points between a lot of teams isn't that great. So they're not massive margins, I don't believe, and I think they showed last year, in a similar start, that they can come good again. So that's what I talk about, and keep reiterating that there are no easy games. You see, the midweek games, how tough they were for the top two clubs in this country. So for me, every game is a challenge and a massive challenge. So we just have to make sure that we bring our A game, because that's what it's going to take to get 3 points.
You're in a good position. You're in a good run of form. You've picked up a lot of good ones.
Yes, yeah, but we have to maintain our understanding of where those results have come from, and not just think we can skip a few steps and miss out the basics of where our game has been based. I think it's really important for our consistency that we understand how we start games, how we earn the right to play, to win, and your quality shows at the important moments at both ends of the pitch. But there's a lot of things you have to do right to win any game of football, and we have to really concentrate on those, because that's, I would say, has been our downfall in the past, and we have to work hard to make sure it isn't in the future.
Right, and final question from me, Graham. There's been a lot of speculation, as there always is at this time of year, but can you shed any light on Tony Watt's situation?
Yeah, I think he's one of a number of players that are out of contract who we have offered contracts to. Each player has the right to either say yes, say no, or negotiate, and that's where we are at this moment. Tony's turned down the contract that we offered. And the ball is in the player's court now to decide what he wants to do for his future. But we've made numerous offers to players, and we'll see how they progress over the next few weeks.
Is that a concern when you're potentially competing against clubs down south? I think Tony's been linked with English Championship clubs, that the lure down there and the money down there is just really tough to compete with.
I don't worry about it, because we can't really compete with a Championship club or even League One and some League Two clubs, and in fact a couple of National League clubs, which we've lost players to in the summer. So we understand where we are. We feel we make a great environment for players. From the football side, they all understand where we are on the financial side. There's a lot of teams within the UK we can't compete with. So we don't get too uptight about that. We understand where we are in the food chain, but we feel we can certainly make players feel valued. They can progress their careers here. They can win games here. So there's a lot of plus points for us to attract players and to keep players. But every player has the individual right to decide what his future is, and we respect that. So we know where we want to go. We know our parameters on our financial side, and we know where we need to improve the squad. So we're quite clear in our thought process going into this period. And transfer windows always throw up different issues and players coming and going. So it's nothing different really from any other window.